Hi and welcome to another video. I'm here in the city of Hamburg again, or still, and today I want to talk about how pro photographers tell us how we can improve our travel photos, for example, or how we can tell a more compelling visual story. And I'm going to put that to the test today. The usual things you'll find are suggestions like start with a wide opening shot, get some medium shots in there, photograph some details, things like that. And when you hear it, it sounds fairly simple, but to put it into practice, you do have to kind of think about it a little bit more. And that's what I'm attempting to do today in the city of Hamburg. So if you ever come here, or if you live here, you can, of course, try and copy what I'm doing today. So let's get into it. The first shot we're going to refer to, the so-called establishing shot, usually is a shot which is taken with a wide-angle lens. But in general, you just want a more wide-open scene and you want to capture something that the city or the country or whatever you're trying to tell a story about is famous for. And in Hamburg, that is the lake in the city center with the water fountain, which is quite unique. So that's a nice landmark to use. And I've just taken a shot here. Let me spin you around. There it is, you can see. It's quite windy today, so I hope you can understand me properly. And this is basically our intro to tell people, look, this is a place that's widely recognized. It's something you will find immediately when you Google the town. And so this is what we're going to use. The light right now is quite miserable, to be honest. It's a backlit scene, no direct light on the subject, so quite rubbish of an image, to be honest. But anyway, keep in mind, it's not about the one perfect image today. It's more about a sequence of images. And this is really only the first little piece of the puzzle. And who knows, maybe later on we'll find some nicer light or a nicer establishing shot, and we can just use that instead. But most of the time, when you visit a place, you don't have infinite opportunities to revisit certain locations, so you pretty much are stuck with the locations, with the conditions on the day you're there. So we'll just use this as an example of that. So on a cloudy day like today, you do want to make an effort to include as little sky as you can possibly need in your shots. And I've found a little scene right here where we have this really nice kind of walkway that's leading off into the distance, and we have this really fresh green on the trees right now. So that's kind of a small indicator of you know, it's springtime, so it also tells a story about what kind of time of year it is right now, which is nice. You could also try to incorporate an interesting person that's walking through the scene. Right now it's quite chaotic. And yeah, so I just took this shot. I think the green does look really nice, and you don't really have to care about the sky at all. I took this shot at 50 millimeters, so a standard focal length, and I will be taking all my shots today on either a 28, a 50 mil, or an 85 mil focal length. So pretty much everything you will usually get in a kit lens that you usually get with your first camera that you buy. So lots of stuff going on here. So nothing too complicated. So here's an example how stormy conditions can actually work out in your favor. I just managed to get a shot of the water fountain getting hit by light and thus forming a rainbow, with the two Ulster Lake boats in the foreground. So very happy about that. And as you can see right now, they just left the scene, so I got quite lucky being here during that time and being able to take the shot. So anyway, now we've got an establishing shot in the bag. We do have two medium shots in the bag. We are still completely missing any kind of detail shots. Now, that's of course very subjective. A nice detail, for example, could be a flag of sorts, a flag that represents the banner of the city maybe, or the country or whatever. I'm definitely gonna go into the direction of the town hall and see if I can find one there. Details can also be just details in the environment, of course. They don't necessarily have to be something that directly relates to the place you're at, but still will mix up generally the shots you can show in your final body of work. So I've just found my first detail shot, and it's you have to look up quite a bit. Let me show you. Right up here, it's the town hall building, and there's quite a lot of ornaments, you know, a lot of nice little detail work that's gone to the facade. And zooming in closely, it makes for quite the unique little detail. While looking for them, I do realize that it's out of these three parts, like, you know, the wide shots, the medium shots, and then the very close detail shots. It's the detail ones I'm struggling with the most. It's just something I haven't really trained my eye to see, so it's kind of exciting for me as well to train myself and get better at it, because I'm really what you would call a 50 mil guy, and that's why I shoot most of my images in this standard kind of focal range. So, good little start. Let's see what else we can find. So when you do this, let's call it a technique, you really have to think about what are the things that make this place special. And for Hamburg as a city, It's got a very, very strong maritime influence. You know, there's a long history of trade and seafare and so on. And therefore, I am going to include some ships and, generally speaking, the water and, of course, the harbor area. So that's where we're headed now. So coming down to the water, I've just taken a shot of just the texture of the water, the ripples and the reflection of the light, and also just a brief picture of the clouds in the sky. So super basic, but it all helps to tell the story or the visual story that we are trying to put together just a little bit better. And also, I've come right to the water side here and took a picture of one of these yellow, I don't know what you call them, the things you put the rope around. And I think that's a nice indicator of, yes, we are in the harbor area. There's boat traffic going on, and also there's some nice bright colors in there as well. So I finally managed to find my flag detail shot. And just let me spin you around. It's right at the top up there, which makes for a pretty cool little image. So I'm happy about that, finding that. That's definitely going into the collection. I'm not sure how many images, or let's say usable images, I have at this point. But my time's running out, so I am gonna keep my eyes open to see what else I can find along the way. But I will be making my way back home, and once I've done that, I will print out the images in a small format and just lay them on the table in front of me and just see what images work together and which don't, to do a little bit of a kind of a, let's call it a sequencing exercise, and I'll show you the final result. So, as you can see, I've finished all the printing. I did all that with a very simple printer, a Canon Selphy CP 1300, I think is what it's called. And now all that's left to do is kind of bring this into a nice kind of order. As you can see here, we have 15 images that I decided on printing, and that of course is still subject to change, but I think we've got a nice variety of images here that tell a somewhat compelling visual story. So let's kind of start chronologically. So the first image here is the one that we took right at the beginning, and even though I brightened it up a lot in post-production, I still don't really like it, you know, there's not a lot of contrast, but nevertheless I decided to keep it, so we're just gonna put this somewhere up here. And then to kind of further explain how the mood during the day was, I'll choose this image of the sky here as the second one. Kind of put this up here. And then to also keep it locally, the next image that makes sense is this one here, which is my favorite of the day. You've got the rainbow there in the water fountain, which is really nice, and then you have this really beautiful red and white contrast of these two boats in the foreground. So yeah, really happy with this one. So I'll put this up here. Then continuing with the color theme and also the boat theme, this is the next one in the line, which features again one of those boats, but this time in the middle of a small canal. So I'll put this up here. And then to break up the boat theme, but still keeping it, you know, with there's still some water in this shot. Also really like the green, how that came out. So this will be the next one. And then transitioning to this one here, which is an image of the town hall. This I didn't record during the video, but I pretty much grabbed a quick snapshot. And you can see I kind of didn't include anything here at the bottom to kind of get rid of lots of people that were running through the scene. So just to make the image a little bit more simple. And now the detail shot from the town hall, which is this one. Also really like how this came out. It's also something I've rarely paid attention to in the past. So to see all these little ornaments on the wall, that's a really nice little discovery. So now, switch of scenery. Again, to break this up, I'll just use this little image right here with just the water to kind of have a visual breakup, you know, of little details and certain themes. Just to have something that lets the eyes rest for a little bit, I really like. So this is going to do exactly that. And now we can introduce a new scene. And I realized while printing that I did actually shoot this scene 2 times actually. So one time we have a little bit more of a human element, you know, there's a little bit more going on the left side here, and on the right side there's the train line, and we have a nicer foreground element here. So this one I will actually take out of this sequence, and I'll just use this one here to introduce kind of the new scene that we're in now. The next one is also something I've walked past quite a number of times in the past, but never really paid any attention to. I really like this this door and the orange, yeah, what's it called? Can't really think of the proper name now. Can't really think of the name right now, but you know what I'm talking about. So this is the next one. And again, another one of those detail shots to break up the visual stream. Put this right here, and then to keep the green color splash rolling from the previous shot, we'll use this one here as the next one, just continuing the green kind of lines. And then the two last ones, these here, I will actually use this one because there's not so much context on this one here as the almost last shot. And this right here I again really like, with the Hamburg flag up here on top of this mast of the sailing boat, just to finish the story. So this is something you could either just put in a photo book, or you could use it as a mood board of sorts. Whatever you like, there's a lot of stuff you can do with it, or you can just, you know, put it somewhere and get it out every once in a while and actually be able to touch your images, you know, having them in physical form. It's something really nice, and myself included, don't do often enough. Even in this small format, it's really fun to just hold the images in your hands and just look at them. You know, you don't have to go through a process like this here. But anyway, this is my final image selection, and that's pretty much it for me in this video. I hope you enjoyed. I certainly had a lot of fun running around the city and also printing all these images and now looking at them. So yeah, if you liked, if you paid attention until this long in the video, thank you very much for watching, and see you next time.